Okay, we've reached 5 past the hour, so welcome everybody to our webinar. This is Shot Blast's second webinar in our series of webinars where I'll be talking about, yes, you guessed it, video marketing. The theme of this webinar is all about how video can help you differentiate your business. We'll be covering a live Q&A at different points throughout, but for now, if you could just pop yourselves on mute for the time being, and of course there will be opportunity for your questions to be answered, and of course we have the chat box, so feel free if there's any feedback along the way to contribute within the chat there. Okay, so before we begin, a short introduction to who we are here at Shot Blast for those who haven't spoken to us before. So we're an experienced leading industrial video production company. We are incredibly passionate about bringing creativity to the industry. We cover all things from live action, 2D, 3D, drone and VR. We really do go the extra mile for our clients, and we have fun and we work best with smiles on our faces, as you can see from the team here. If you follow us on social media, you'll see that we really do love what we do and go the extra mile, as I say, for our clients. But you can see here, faces to names. We've got Lottie Wiltshaw, director of the business. So the business has been running for 12 years now. We've got David Mead as leading creative director and producer, leading the creative area of the business, myself. You've got Thomas Wright, camera operator and editor. Byron Sheldon leads on the live action packages, so camera operator and editor there. And Maddie Goddard, who's making a special guest appearance today to talk about the marketing strategy and her expertise in that area. So that's a little bit about us. So what are the biggest misconceptions related to video marketing? Because there's a lot out there, let's face it. Firstly, it doesn't apply to my industry. The biggest misconception and video marketing myth out there. So the demand for video is being driven not by businesses, but with the people who work within them. You know, industries with the greatest opportunities are those where video has classically been underused. So there are many different industries that are taking advantage of video as part of their marketing strategy, such as construction sites with drone videos showing, you know, their sites using video as part of their proposals and projects, winning bids. So it's becoming a really pivotal part of their marketing plans. And when you think about customers and consumers, you know, most of us are on smartphones. We're digesting information at such a rapid rate. You know, if you're not visible via video, you're invisible. Secondly, you don't need professional help in video production. While it's true that anyone can pick up a camera, shoot some footage, producing a polished and practical video requires a range of skills and expertise that really only a professional can provide. You know, professional video producers such as ourselves bring years of experience in storytelling, script writing, cinematography, the lighting, sound design and post-production editing. So there's a lot that goes into it, not to mention the high-end equipment and software to take your video to the next level. So while it may seem tempting to try to save money by producing your own video footage, you know, investing in professional help is crucial if you want to create a video that genuinely engages and resonates with your audience. Now, of course, you can create your own user-generated content, those in-the-moment posts, very important, but for that professional look and feel, you know, that experience really does play a strong part. You know, here at Shot Blast, we bring 10 years of experience in storytelling, script writing, as I say, all the expertise that I've spoken about. But you'll also get help in terms of strategic direction, where you can take your brand and the growth of your business. It costs too much money. I was a little bit confused when I saw this image. We were looking for piggy bank images, and Oh, it's a saving for a rainy day. So video doesn't have to be expensive. Video production is accessible to businesses of all sizes. You've got all the necessary tools available in the palm of your hands, your phone. And there's so many platforms, isn't there now? There's TikTok, Instagram. It's never been easier to promote your brand digitally. And this is where here at Shot Blast, we have designed cost-effective solutions, really meaning that you can pay per month, you can spread the cost and different packages to suit your budget and need. Finally, you can't track results. So tracking audience behavior such as attention span, click-through rates, subscription rates, return on investment are the key to knowing if your video is working or not. And contrary to what many people believe, data analysis tools such as Google Analytics, YouTube Analytics, and other metric-based apps can now help you determine whether your video is giving you the desired result. So measuring how your video is being found online, how often it's being watched, and which parts are encouraging action on your viewers' behalf can help you decide on the changes needed for improving the effectiveness of your video. So the takeaway is that, there are so many available tools today for measuring the numbers when it comes to user interaction. But remember, it's a little bit like setting a weight loss goal. We're in January, got to mention weight loss. It's New Year's resolutions. You won't notice the results immediately, but with a consistent approach, you will reap the benefits over time. And that's exactly the same with video marketing. Okay, so moving on to why invest in video marketing, the compelling reasons why companies choose to invest in this space. So a good starting point is really looking at some of the common challenges companies might be facing in the market, and then we can take a deeper dive into how video marketing can solve these challenges. Starting with challenge one, sales decline. Now, we know that video marketing can drive traffic to websites. Search engines like Google favor websites with video content, which will help to boost your website's ranking. By incorporating video into your content marketing strategy, you can improve your website's SEO and drive more traffic to your sites. So this increased engagement leads to longer periods of time spent on your website or your social pages, which can ultimately result in higher conversion rates. Video content has also been proven to be more engaging than text or image-based content. And given how time poor we've all become, we'd be more likely to watch a video than to read a long text-heavy article. So for any company looking to improve sales and pipeline, video marketing is a great way to go. Challenge two, losing to the competition. So nobody wants this to happen. You want to be a chosen supplier and front of the race when it comes to bids. So to stay ahead of the competition, video marketing will help you to support you to showcase your story, but also your culture, in particular CSR, which is becoming more of an essential requirement for winning business, particularly in the government sector for government bids. Challenge three, company change. Following COVID, although it was 4 years ago now, we've seen many companies go through significant changes, product changes, structural changes. So to support client relationships and build trust, leadership videos are a great way to enhance those relationships and build trust. These types of videos are also a great way to deliver internal messages to the wider business. Challenge four, attracting and retaining talent. So a particular company may be facing retention and attraction challenges, particularly given the labour shortages in the UK at the moment. So showcasing the brand's culture, its team via video is a great way to ensure that you are front of mind from a recruitment perspective, standing out from the crowd. So we've spoken about growth being a focus for many companies. So I'd like to share an example here of a recent video we've produced for a company called Essie. They're a long-standing client of ours who provide a wide range of classic and contemporary cookers, as you can see from the video. Apologies if it's buffering. This is Teams, not streaming too well there, but happy to send the links afterwards. But we work with Essie to produce a series of videos promoting their cookers, with the latest video providing them with a £10,000 return on investment within 3 weeks of the video being released. They've also seen increased engagement via social media channels, with many clients positively feeding back. So just to also mention that, you know, these videos are delivered via various different channels. As you can see, we've got portrait style, we've got landscape style. So when people are on the go on their mobile phones, it makes it really easy to digest the videos. So I'd now like to go into an interactive client Q&A session with Laura, who leads marketing activities at the Learning and Development Consortium. So we've had the pleasure of working in partnership with LDC for a number of years, and we've co-created a series of fantastic videos. So we've got Laura here. If Laura could just pop herself off mute. And Laura, would you be able to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and the work you do at LDC, and really share more about how video marketing has supported the business growth, and in particular our working relationship with you guys?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Steph. Apologies everybody, because I'm full of cold and I've got a cough, which is the last thing you want when you're coming on and doing a speaking bit on a webinar. So I will do my very best. So yes, I'm Laura, and I look after the marketing at the Learning and Development Consortium. And so a little bit about the LDC, just to start with. We are a community of member organisations, and through that what we do is share best practice, and so that's all about learning and improving together. So we have various businesses that share sort of best practice visits, benchmarking, things like that. And we offer a range of development, excuse me, of development programs through that. So that can be anything from looking at first line leaders to coaching, mentoring, and really supporting the growth of individuals, but also the organisations as well. So we started to look at video marketing about 18 months ago, I'd say. And because we run a lot of events, workshops, it's very face-to-face interaction with people. And so the sessions were so powerful, we were thinking, how can we make the most of these sessions and explain to people exactly what it is that we do? So we chose video because you can't talk about this on a website, and you can't just explain to people by speaking sorry, exactly what goes on in those programs. And so we invested in some video marketing to try and bring members of our team to the forefront, but also show like the work that really goes on in these programs. So we, alongside that, what we wanted to do was to show a more professional look. So, you know, it's all right saying to people that we that we do all these programs, but at the end of the day, you know, we need to be showcasing that as a brand. And so that's why we decided to do that. So we work on a subscription basis with Shot Blast Media. And so we're really lucky in that, you know, it's not just about the video, it's about how we use that, and then how, you know, the performance of that video is working. And so we work with Maddie to look at all the social media, and then she's able to track back, look at the analytics and say, right, this video has worked through this channel really well. but we could look at it through this channel. And so that's really the stage and the process that we're going through with the team at the moment. So obviously we have that video, but what's important to also remember is to actually use it. And I know that sounds a little bit silly, but some of the members of the team get this video material and then think, oh, it looks great. You know, I'll just sit and look at that at home. And well, that's really all well and good because it does look so professional, but how are we going to use it? And so that's where our marketing strategy really comes in. So we're using it on newsletters, we're using it in digital brochures, we're using it for testimonials, we're using it as website content, social media content, etc. And so for us, and of course, it really depends what you want to showcase as a business. And for us, it was about having that professional look and feel, involving some of the members of the team, and just capturing some of those moments within those events and workshops to a wider audience. But I suppose what we didn't consider was that was a great way to promote to an external audience. But within the companies that we work with, we might work with 5 of their employees, 10 of their employees, but they might have 500 employees that haven't been on the courses before. And so for us, we were able to showcase, you know, this is what you might be missing, this is what you'll benefit from by being involved. And it's just become a real platform of us, and it's something for us to be proud of. And it just elevates us to the next level. And so, you know, we have so many ideas of videos that we could be doing, but we just scaled it back. And we said to the Shot Blast media team, this is what we think we should be doing, but, you know, with a little bit of help from you, just to fine tune it, you know, let's get some consistency and really showcase the best parts of what it is that the LDC does. So yeah, so it's definitely been a journey. And within the organisation, I think everybody has different views of it. So it's also about bringing together everybody internally in the team as well and taking them on that journey as well.
That's great. Thank you, Laura. We've sorry to cut in there.
No, that's okay.
We've thoroughly enjoyed working with you guys because, like you say, it's very visual. You know, as you say, these are interactive workshops, aren't they, often? So it's hard to get that across in a piece of static content. So us coming in and filming the training and the workshops and the interactivity, it really brings it to life, the relationships that you have with your clients and the partnership-led approach. Just a couple of questions here really is, you know, why do you think consistent video is important? Because of course we've worked with you on a number of different videos now. So what's your opinion on the consistency side of things?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, when the workshop's going on, it's you know, the buzz and the energy in that room is really hard to keep a hold of and explain to people exactly what happens in those events. And so that captures that key moment. But I mean, you couldn't have asked me that question at a better time, because as Maddie reports back on statistics and analytics and things, we've actually just seen our highest engagement on one of the videos that we've produced. So if we produce one of those videos, you know, it would have looked great, but then it very quickly becomes outdated. And what's the point for us in the video format that we've chosen? You know, we've got to build some momentum behind those. And so the consistency for us wouldn't be, you know, do one video, looks great, you can put it on the website, maybe do one in 2 years' time. It's much more powerful than that. It drives analytics through different, you know, through your website, through YouTube, like you said, through social media. So I think consistency is the key for us.
Definitely, definitely. That's really great to hear. And, thinking about those who've joined us on the call, what would your advice be to a company looking to take that investment leap into professional, video marketing? If they've never done it before, or they might have used their smartphone, but actually they need to take it to the next level. They want to grow their business. They have a product they want to really market. What would be your advice, based on the journey that you've been on?
I think it's go with an idea. You're the one that understands your company and your brand the most, but Shot Blast media team, etc., are the experts in video marketing. So when you put the two and two together, that is quite powerful, because I remember early days, let's make a 20-minute long video, on this event. Well, that's great from our point of view, but there's probably only the director that'll sit and watch 20 minutes because he's really proud of it. And so Shot Blast are able to say, okay, but it needs to be smaller, more concise, get the key people on there. So I think the advice would be is to really work with the Shot Blast media team to get the best results.
That's great. Thank you, Laura. That's it for us. It's, you hit the nail on the head. It's not just about us turning up with a camera. It's that the planning and expertise that goes in beforehand to make that shoot really successful. And it's that co-creation of ideas and partnership. It's a really strong part of the way that we do things here. I think it'd be worthwhile, if you don't mind, Laura, that we go into an interactive Q&A, just if anybody has any questions in the audience. So there's a chat box and there is a Q&A box, actually. So anybody that has any questions, feel free to type. Okay, so Luke has asked, what social platforms are these videos being posted on? Is that a specific question for Laura, Luke, I assume? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Luke. So we only use LinkedIn as a social media platform. And so really it's LinkedIn, but then we integrate it into our email marketing. And like I said, we've got some digital online brochures where we're able to put links to the video and use it in that showcase. But I mean, it's a combination, because Maddie and the team, they look after our organic posts for us as well. And so our engagement on posts and our follower numbers has massively increased as well. And we're not always sharing video. But obviously they look after that for us. So it's, the analytics around the whole piece is quite impressive.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great question. I don't think there's any more questions for now, but if anybody does have any questions at any point, just feel free to pop the question in the chat box there. Okay, thank you so much, Laura. That was brilliant. It's really, really great to hear your feedback and thoughts on the journey that you guys have been on, because for those that are just starting out, it's it is a bit of a leap of faith in the beginning, isn't it? So it's great that they can hear from other companies who've been on that journey and see the success that they've had from it. So thank you very much. That was brilliant.
I think don't overthink it. You see everybody, well, I could be doing what they're doing, and I could be doing this this version, and but just stick to your guns with it, I think. But if anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much. And we will share a video library following on from today's webinar. We're just conscious the videos through Teams aren't streaming so well, but there's been some fantastic videos created for LDC, which we will share afterwards. Okay, so moving on to differentiation. So of course, Laura's spoken, a little bit about differentiation, hasn't she, in terms of, really bringing the story to life, but also a bit of personality. And, it's what they do is very interactive. So naturally it works very well on video. But I thought really it's good for us to look at some of the key aspects behind differentiation, particularly related to using video. So firstly, just to caveat, the buyer's journey has changed, with more information readily available to your customers than ever before. How can you stay ahead of the competition? Differentiation and awareness of your unique selling points within your brand, products and services is imperative. It's no secret that people love watching videos. With the rise of social media and other digital platforms, it has never been easier to reach a large audience through video content. In fact, studies have shown that video is the most engaging type of content on social media, with higher click-through rates and longer average viewing times than any other format. So it's definitely heading in that direction. It's 17 hours of video is watched on a weekly basis, so it's only set to increase. So just some top tips here then in terms of that differentiation and how you go about that. So starting with planning and strategy, crucial first step, obvious, but it's so important. And sometimes it can just be missed. It can be easy to just jump straight to an idea and film something without actually having a plan behind it. So really thinking about the audience that you would like to connect with and the channels that your audience are on. And how can your business help to solve their problems in a quick and easy format? We know shorter videos are what works best. 60 to 90 seconds is typically the optimum time. Thinking about video topics, consistency is the key here, isn't it? Consistent content drip fed throughout the year will help you to be more memorable. So when your customers are in a position to buy, you will be top of mind. Marketing with video allows you to share your message in a method that will make people notice. In fact, one of our customers, Romantica Beds, they were on our last webinar. The MD, Sid, was talking about how, of course, they've worked in partnership with us, produced lots of videos, but the videos which have received the highest engagement are the light-hearted, tongue-in-cheek style videos. So don't underestimate, that style of video alongside the more professional format. We found the same here at Shot Blast. We like everybody in the team to be featured in these videos, making it feel very personal and giving clients a sense of the people behind the brand. So there are a variety of different topics that you can tap into, each with a different purpose, but really looking at the gaps in your marketing collateral is a good place to start. Third point is shorter portrait style videos. They're becoming more and more of a necessity. They're easily digestible and optimized for, social media platforms, and feel really informal and more relatable and just easier to digest. And last but not least is creating a compelling story. The best videos are when the video content tells a story, so you can help your audience clearly understand what makes your business different and build a more meaningful connection. So if your competitors are using video, you definitely don't want to be left behind. Video is no longer optional. Use it to tell your brand story, get your message in front of your target audience. If you are not visible, you are invisible. So, as I mentioned, planning is crucial to the success of your video marketing plans. So we know that consistency is what's going to provide you with the greatest return. So to achieve this, it does take time, but we believe a mix of both user-generated and professional content is what is going to work best for you. Here's an example of our communication calendar here at Shot Blast and how we have regular content fed throughout the year. So there are topical dates you wish to shine a spotlight on, such as International Women's Day, showcasing an inclusive working environment, breaking down the stigma in women in construction, for example, World Health and Safety Day, through to the more fun, light-hearted skits, you know, for Christmas, wishing clients a happy Christmas and New Year as an example. But as you can see here, having a plan of how those videos are going to be utilised and the different topics throughout will really result in success for you in the long run. Okay, so I'd now like to hand over to our experts in the field, Mr. Byron Sheldon and Mr. David Mead, who will now take you through their practical top tips. And we will also go into a live Q&A. So any burning questions about the practicalities in the field, they are here to help. So I will just stop sharing my screen and you should be able to, just going to put them in the spotlight so that you can see them a little bit easier. There we go. So over to you guys, David and Byron.
Hello. Thank you, Steph. Yes, you might have seen my face come up earlier. I'm David. I'm creative director here. I kind of oversee live action videos, kind of the bigger budget and individual videos.
I'm Byron, so I do the video packages mainly for such as like LDC. I also drone, and yeah, that's pretty much. And I also do a bit of editing as well for the packages.
So today we thought we'd go through very briefly of kind of top tips that you could do if you're going to film your own content on a phone. So if you, one of the things that we do is we run a video training course. Can range from 1 to 2 days, whether it's focused mainly on filming or editing. So we thought to run a few bits today of like filming basically on a phone and using various kind of affordable accessories like you can see behind us. So the first thing that we always kind of go through on these courses is the video settings that you use on a phone, because most people have an iPhone or a Samsung. But obviously I've got an iPhone here, so I'm going to show you that. So I don't know if anyone who's got their phone handy want a quick go at this, because if you, especially on an iPhone, if you go onto your video, in the top right, it normally says what your default settings are. So mine, which ideally it should be 4K 25. If I hold that up a bit, you can see it there. Byron, what does yours say?
No, how do you get it up?
Just go onto video.
Video. Right,
so Byron says something different.
Yeah, I'm on 30 at the minute. So
Byron is on HD 30. So the key thing in there is, if me and Byron both went out now and filmed something, we'd have 2 completely different formats to film with. And then someone would come, one of our guides would be editing it, and it'd be like, guys, you filmed 2 completely different things. That's really awkward to edit with. So it is a key thing to try and get whoever's filming in your organization, especially if there's multiple of you, to try and film on the same format. And the bigger format, the better. So I was on 4K, which means I was on a really big frame size. So I've used this bit of paper, for example. So Byron's on HD, which means it's 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is, I don't know, roughly that in our frame. So Byron would be filming, his canvas size is that, but mine was 4K is what we're all seeing here, of our framing of us here. So the bigger you can do it, the better it'll look.
What's the there's a HDR setting as well, which is quite important, because if you are editing in Premiere Pro, you'll find that once you drag this footage into the editing software, it kind of blows it up and it's overexposed, and you have to kind of sort all that out. So there's a good setting to kind of stop that from happening.
Yeah, the color profiles are all completely wrong and it'll look very odd.
So how do you do that?
So basically on an iPhone, if you just go into the general settings and then go down to camera, there are various things here at the top. So the top one is the one you want, just record video. And because the iPhone is obviously an American-based company, you make it everything set to NTSC. As NTSC empowered 2 very different filming formats, which is the frame size and frame rates. So a little bit lower down, and it's slightly tricky, but you can see show PAL formats. And if that's ticked on, then you're going to get all these other formats to film on as your default. And see, mine is on, is ticked on, so was it 4K 25, which is kind of the best one you want to be. So now anytime I go click on the camera, go to video, it's going to be 4K 25 in the corner. So that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, the HDR is definitely a good thing to sort out. So we've got next up framing. That's quite an important one, isn't it? Because right now we're quite central. You know, you're there, I'm here. So framing wise, if I was sat over here, it wouldn't be quite ideal. So you kind of need to make sure that your center frame, like imagine there's like 9 squares on this frame. So it's called the rule of thirds, and just make sure you're kind of in the middle of that. Or you can use framing to kind of, if David wasn't here, if David was out of frame and I was here, you could frame it so you can put text here, which I think is a really sort of modern way of doing TikToks these days, especially if I'm kind of sat here and I lift this laptop up and I'm presenting like this, but also text is coming up here. That's quite an important way of doing the framing. There you go. Have you got anything else on framing?
A little tip on your phone. Again, I'll try and show you quickly. On the top of the screen there, it's got the time code, and if I click record, you'll see the time code go up, and that's normally quite a good guide to leave a good amount of headroom if you're filming an interview. See how we are now, there's enough headroom there. You don't want anyone's head cut off or anyone too low, like Byron just showed us.
Yeah.
So what else is important? Well, half of the video is what you're seeing, the other half is the sound. So it's very important to get really good sound. So with getting really good sound, part of that is by having a quiet area and a quiet place.
So I think there's someone in the background making a bit of noise there.
So you probably couldn't hear us very well because we had some background sound. So yeah, it's good to try and control it as much as possible. Where it's, if you're in an office, maybe you don't want to film in an office because there's lots of background sounds. Try and go into a smaller room, things like that, because especially if you're filming on a phone, it's a really small microphone. It's picking up, it's not directional, it's picking up everything. So if you can control it, the better. Obviously filming outside, again, is slightly trickier. If you're filming by a road, try not to do that, come away from it, stuff like that.
And make sure you tell everyone that you're kind of filming. So if there's someone else in the office and they're typing, make them aware that you are filming, so then they can stop for that 10 minutes.
Because even keyboards can be quite noisy.
Oh yes, keyboards are definitely a fault. Yeah, that's pretty much it for sound. Lighting.
Yes, we've got some good lighting here. We've got behind us is kind of one of the lights we're kind of using now. It's on this side of the camera. So, I mean, if the light was off, it would look very different. I mean, we've got a nice pink glow behind us.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool behind. So you can kind of have 2 different moods for lighting. If you have the light back on, it's bright and you can see it's a lot better, but off kind of worked as well. So you can control your lighting a lot more with obviously lights such as the ones in the back.
An example, going back to Laura, who you had a little chat with earlier. See, she's facing away from the window, which means most of the light is lighting the kitchen and not her face. And if she twizzled, was it 90 degrees to the other way, the camera was the other way. So yeah, the light from if you don't have any lighting, then the light from outside would be on your face more. But I know, it doesn't matter for now. I'm just saying, just by shifting position in a room, can make a big difference, in or outside.
Well, that brings you on to like body language, obviously your performance, wherever you kind of sat. Make sure your person who you're interviewing or who's on screen is actually in a good position. Like right now, again, we're in a good position. It kind of takes you back to framing.
Because we're on a sofa. We're kind of leaning forward. We're quite engaged, rather than us just
chilling in the back.
Yeah, rather than arms folded, legs crossed, and just not looking very
makes it more of a chat with the audience, which is good.
And part of body language that helps is the confidence and performance to do it. So planning, if you were going to film someone, if you were going to be on camera, or if you the other way around, then it's good to know about how to kind of coach people to plan what we're going to say. If it's going to be sound bites, do the questions. I'm trying to come to talk slowly. Obviously, eye line is important because there's 2 ways of doing it. You're either looking into lens or they're looking off camera. So that makes a big difference as well. Again, the more planning you can do, the better.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned it, but having the camera at your eye level is quite good. So obviously right now it's our eye level, but if we was like this looking up, it looks a bit weird. So eye level is definitely the best way to go about that.
So that kind of takes on to some of the accessories here that we kind of use in our training course. We've got there's a tripod here in the corner. It's quite cheap. One's about £30 from Amazon. But the key thing is that it can go up to 6 foot, because if you're filming someone tall, you don't want to have a 5 foot or 4 foot tripod and end up looking up their nose because it's obviously not the greatest. So, and tripods like that, very, very light. You can easily take them on a train, chuck them in the car, or whatever you want to do. You got easy accessory on the top where your phone can slide in, portrait or landscape. Also, there's things like this. It's a little handheld rig. Again, it's about £20 from Amazon.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Your phone literally just slides in, and you can do walking shots with it that make it so much steadier than if you were just to hold the phone. Because when you're holding the phone just like this, it's called micro jitters. Any tiny little movement looks really big on screen, but if this, it gets rid of all those micro jitters and makes it really smooth. And also, it's got kind of screw threads on the top and bottom, so you can put it on a tripod either way around, depends on how you're filming.
Yeah, it's quite a good bit of kit there. One thing we haven't mentioned in to do with kind of framing and stuff is put in like little props in the background. So obviously we've got a nice little camera that we've put in the middle here, which just makes your background look a little bit more jazzy, really, doesn't it? So you can also do that if you're in more of a controlled environment, sort of like a studio.
Because our location fits what we're talking about, doesn't it? So location is important rather than us just filming ourselves against a white wall.
Definitely. Editing, what sort of editing software?
A very basic thing on the editing. You could do this on an iPhone. I guess you probably do a similar thing on a Samsung, kind of just guessing of if you've got a clip of someone having a short interview and you wanted to get rid of your question at the start and end, you can go into the gallery and just do a very quick kind of edit in that. So you can top and tail it and just export that. But if you want to do anything more advanced, there's various apps that we kind of recommend people to use and we kind of teach them to use, which like Premiere Pro, Premiere Rush, which is the mobile version of it.
Yeah, what other mobile ones have we got? I know there's CapCut. That's quite an interesting one for TikTok. So I know a lot of people use that, which is quite straightforward to use.
Well, TikTok has its own built-in editing, so you can film and edit adding text, even music, or even trending music, which is things. If you had trending music, then that gets up on more searches and more people will see it.
Yeah, no, certainly, definitely. Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of everything.
Yeah, obviously that's only a few minutes, but yeah, when we do our course, it's very practical based, and like I said, it can either last 1 or 2 days depending.
Yeah, but we're happy to answer any questions if anyone's got anything Steph, for us. I know we went through everything pretty quickly.
Yeah, you've got a question that's come in. Do you ever use mini microphones if you're filming in the office? And is there one in particular you recommend?
Is that for using with a phone, do you mean? Is that relevant to that? Because we do a mix, don't we? Like for our own marketing, we'll film various stuff on a phone, or we'll use our other kind of main kind of cinema cameras with proper microphones.
They've said yes for phones.
Yes, phones. Phones. The radio mics can go into phones if you've got the little adapter. But yes, to answer your question, we do use radio mics. They are Rode ones, are there?
Yes, there's also the Rode kind of, it's a Wi-Fi based one where it creates its own network. I see people use it all the time on TikTok. It's actually quite a big chunky thing.
It is, yeah, that one.
You see, I mean, you can kind of put it anywhere.
Yeah,
and that goes. That's kind of wirelessly, then just goes to your phone.
Yeah, and they do work really well. So what they do is just capture your sort of voice. They don't capture kind of anything else in the room, which is what you kind of want when you're doing little sound bites. But we can put that in the email that you send in, Steph, at the end, if you want to obviously purchase one of them, because we've got one and they work quite well.
There's always various things as well we do in post-production with audio filters and different ways, and using AI as well to help make the sound better from what you've done, but that's maybe a bit more too advanced again.
A bit technical, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody's typing something. Do you want me to read it out? If you're filming in a public location, exhibitions, for example, do you need to get permission from all companies and individuals to use them in a video, even if it's just in the background? It's a great question.
So people in the background, usually if it's a public space and people are just walking by, then usually that's just kind of fair game, isn't it? It's not like if you've got someone speaking on camera or you're getting some B-roll shots of them and they're very prominent on your exhibition stand, then usually you'll go ask someone, are they fine with it, or get them to sign something. But if it's in a public place and they just happen to be circumstantial in the background, then that's usually fine.
How you work it out is that if they're not the main sort of character in the video and they're just in the background, then you're fine to kind of use them without permission, because it is in public and they're not involved in the video at all. It's just the main character. So that's how I kind of work it out when doing public work. To answer your question, exhibitions, yeah, same thing for that.
It's kind of expected, like if we went to an exhibition next week, we would expect that we'd know that there would be loads of other people filming on various different devices. So we'd know that we're going to be in the background of someone's video.
Yeah.
A question that came into me earlier actually is, how long is a typical shoot? How long does a typical shoot last?
It kind of varies. Obviously, I'm part of the packages, so my shoots sort of normally take about 4 hours because it's mostly social media based. So, for example, I'll use the LDC. We went to one of their events and filmed it for about 3 or 4 hours, and then we come back and obviously edit it for them. So that's kind of the marketing shoots. They can be a lot shorter, and they can be a lot longer. It just depends on the content that you're wanting. But obviously we do custom shoots as well, which David, you probably have more of an idea with that.
Yeah, it really does range. You could spend kind of typical is just time is normally about a day, but sometimes we could be on a location and stay there for a full week. If it was, for example, like a series of 3 or 4 induction videos and there were 10-15 minutes each. One of them was say about transport. You'd have to spend a whole day filming stuff about transport. So it completely varies, but I'd say the average is more to half a day to a day.
Yeah.
Us being on a location or site of some sort.
Yeah, just depends on the content.
Right. Thanks very much, guys. Of course, if there are any more questions from anybody, please feel free to use the chat. And of course, we will provide our contact details afterwards. But I believe we're now going into a special Q&A with Maddie Goddard.
Yes, we'll move out of the way now.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Maddie. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, I'm Maddie and I'm marketing executive at Shot Blast Media.
So, Maddie, this is really an opportunity for those on the call to ask you any questions related to marketing and your experience within within video marketing in particular. But I will kick off with a couple of questions, if you don't mind, just whilst we give people a few minutes to think about any key questions that they have. Okay, so once the video is done, will you help us to promote it on our behalf?
So for the video packages, we do upload all of those videos to your YouTube channels for you, and we optimize them for SEO so that people can kind of track that back to your video from Google. And we also have an add-on for the video packages as well. So there is a marketing add-on you can have where, yeah, I can help you with LinkedIn posts for the videos, LinkedIn posts for other content, other social medias, TikTok, Instagram. You know, that's what I do for LDC and La Romantica and a few other businesses as well. So yeah, we can help you promote the video once it's made as well.
Brilliant, thank you. And will you make recommendations based on the needs of our business? Because, you know, every business is slightly different. So do you make recommendations and can you support on our journey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, even yesterday I had a call with one of our newer clients, kind of learning more about what they do and their business and kind of suggesting some things that we could do for them, like blogs and different kind of content like that helps with SEO. So yeah, definitely. We obviously do our research when we work with new clients, and we do specialize in the industrial sectors. So we do already have a lot of knowledge about that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely we can like develop specific content for, you know, different businesses, different companies.
Excellent. And oh, sorry, we've just had a question come in, so let's just take a look at this question. Which tends to do better in terms of engagement, an infographic based video or a video showing people faces? So I assuming they mean live action when they say that, but I'm not quite sure.
Well, definitely, like if you have people in the video, that tends to do better, especially like even on YouTube thumbnails. If you have someone in the thumbnail, that video will do better than if you just have an object in the thumbnail, and that video is already going to do better because people react to people. They react to people's facial expressions and what they're doing. So yeah, definitely to have more personality in your brand, I would suggest using people in the video for sure. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends, you know. On TikTok, we post videos where, I mean, you can just pick images and it kind of makes them into a video on like a reel on TikTok. And actually those videos do really well. But so it kind of depends what you're posting on. But I would suggest kind of doing, you know, trying different things. But yeah, people definitely react better to people. So those tend to have better engagement. Yeah.
Thank you. Great question. Another question's just come in. With social media in mind, are there any important trends or changes to look out for or put extra efforts into? Another great question.
So, well, one thing to start with, you know, I was having a conversation with a client yesterday and they were like, should we be on TikTok? Yeah, probably, because a lot of people are, you know. TikTok isn't just, I was telling them this, it's not just about, you know, funny videos. It's not about music. It's not about just those things anymore. It's kind of for everyone. And we see clients, you know, in the industrial sector, in lots of different sectors, do really well on TikTok, even if like you kind of don't expect them to do well, because people want to see like different things. They like seeing behind the scenes things. They like seeing your team do random things in an office. They like seeing all that kind of stuff. And definitely on TikTok, like, I mean, the algorithm is difficult. You never know. You could spend hours on a video on TikTok and it gets 2 views, or you could spend 3 minutes on a video on TikTok and it gets thousands of views. It's really hard to know what's going to work on those kind of platforms because that algorithm is so different to other things. But yeah, I would suggest, you know, following trends that kind of work for you. I mean, the other day it was National Popcorn Day and we made a video all about national, you know, we did popcorn taste testing and that did really well on certain platforms. So I definitely say just kind of, you know, follow what hashtags are kind of, you know, with your business, your industry, what kind of makes sense with that. You know, there isn't a trend in particular I can think of that I can say, but definitely just kind of do your research and follow competitors and see what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Another question. Is this another question? No more questions coming in. Apologies. But what we can do, Maddie, is potentially send out some topical dates, some, you know, dates that we follow that other people may wish to follow it as well.
I think we've had another question, Steph.
How do you spot trends? I work for a recruitment business and do find it quite difficult to pinpoint trends. It's a great one.
To be honest, just like taking maybe 10 minutes a day to just scroll through your business TikTok, see people you're following. I mean, it is difficult because certain trends don't apply to lots of people, but I mean, we kind of make our own trends, like with the popcorn taste testing video. You know, we kind of do something different for popcorn day each year. That's kind of like a trend for our business now, and those videos do quite well. So I guess, you know, if you can't see a trend that kind of links to your business, kind of make your own, you know, see what's out there, see what's going on. I would say, like, you know, don't copy other people directly. Obviously, that's not great. But on TikTok, it's a bit different, you know. Copyright doesn't really apply to a lot of TikTok videos and people do just copy each other. But yeah, I would just say take 10 minutes every day in the morning when you get to work, just scroll through, see what's going on. It is hard to spot trends, but some trends might not, you think, oh, that's not going to work. But actually there are lots of things that we've seen that are just office-based, general office-based things that could work for any business. So yeah, maybe follow certain hashtags. There's, you know, hashtag office life and things like that to kind of find. I know recruitment's a bit tricky, but I used to work at a recruitment company in marketing and I did their TikToks and things. So just kind of, you know, see what other people are doing. That's what I did. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, Maddie. Okay, another question is, how do you see AI playing into content now?
So yeah, AI is definitely kind of up and coming and it's going to get bigger and bigger over the next few years for sure. And what we kind of do as a business is we try and adopt things from AI that will be useful to us and that will aid our business. You know, it's not taking over our business, but we're trying to take different things. For example, for our 2D animation packages, we use AI voiceover instead of paying a voiceover artist to do that. You know, you pay a software a certain amount a month, very cheap, and it provides an AI voiceover for you that sounds exactly like a person. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference, really. So things like that. Again, ChatGPT, if you need an idea for a script, if you need an idea for anything, ChatGPT is really, really useful, or any kind of AI like that. You know, it's not doing your job for you, it's just aiding your job, and it's you know, AI is there to make things easier for us. So I definitely suggest kind of taking a look at that, seeing what's relevant in your industry in kind of AI, because you know, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So keeping on trend with AI is really important.
Excellent, thank you. And what is the benefit of tracking stats? So we've spoke earlier a little bit about, you know, return on investment, and there's different ways that you can measure, but what's the benefit of being able to track, you know,
yes, there's
the success
obviously,
of videos?
if you're putting videos out on YouTube, you have YouTube analytics, you know, you can see Google analytics for your website. There's lots of different, you know, even on LinkedIn, Instagram, you can see all the different statistics. But what you know, why should you look at these? To start with, like, you can obviously see a trend. Is the video relevant to the people who are watching? What's the click-through rate like? How long do people watch for? What location are they watching in? You know, we try and target people in Leeds, for example. If someone's watching in India, it might not be as that audience, we're thinking, oh, that's not as relevant for us. So you can see locations, you can see lots of different things, and you can kind of target your next video ideas based on that. You can see if that video worked, you can see if there's a trend, if, you know, viewing rates are going up or down. So yeah, you can see kind of where your target audience are and if you're targeting them well, and then you can make a change for your next content when that's going out and think, how can I, you know, target that audience better? How can I target a bigger audience? How can I do this? How can I do that? So definitely looking at stats is really important.
Yeah, great, thank you. And what advice would you give to someone developing a marketing strategy, having been on this journey yourself, from, you know, starting at Shot Blast to where we are now, and how far we've come?
The main thing to think about is, what are your business goals? What is your business as a whole trying to achieve? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to add more people? Are you trying to get more clients? You know, what are you trying to do as a business? What's your goal that year? What's your goal, you know, for the next few years? And think about how video can play a part in that. You know, where is your business going? And then think, how can video aid that strategy? How can you move forward with video with that? And definitely think about who your target audience are when you're making a video. That's definitely one of the most important things, I would say.
Brilliant, thank you so much. Any more questions from anybody? I don't think there's any more questions, but thank you ever so much, Maddie. That was brilliant to have you on, answering all those insightful, great questions. So conscious of time today, so just before we wrap up, you know, hopefully that Q&A session was really helpful. We wanted the opportunity for you to interact with all of us in the team. You know, you've got Maddie as leading on the marketing strategy here, and the activity that plays a part in that, through to Byron and David out in the field, you know, being able to give you those practical top tips when starting out in video production. So hopefully that was helpful, but any further questions we will be able to answer afterwards at any point. But before we wrap up, I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight that we have a range of low-cost packages to suit your needs, always ensuring that we are driving the outcomes you are looking for. So we have 2D packages incorporating AI voiceovers that are used to support key messages related to health and safety content and many other forms of communication. So as Maddie was talking about it, you know, AI route is really getting to a good point now, you know, where we can deliver quicker, faster, better results, particularly in the 2D space. Live action is a part of our packages as well. So really bringing your people, your product, your brand to life. And these packages can be flexible. You know, you can opt for 4, 6 or 12 videos a year, optimum time of 60 to 90 seconds each. And it will this consistency, you know, will drive engagement and support with growth and driving traffic to your website. And beyond the videos themselves, we will also provide SEO support, ensuring that your name is top of the list from an SEO perspective. Now, we do have some fantastic reviews on Clutch, and we are rated a top video production company. So you have peace of mind that we are committed to delivering outcomes for our clients. So as part of the packages, we will work with you on a 12-month communication strategy, supporting with consistent content drip-fed throughout the year. So, you know, there's so much content that can be created. You know, it's amazing, really, when you look at the list of different topics, but it's really dependent on the outcomes and the goals that you're looking to achieve. But examples can include a mix of both external and internal marketing. And as you can see here, you can have CSR videos. So if you're running a charitable event, you might want to have that videoed, and that could be included on social media and on your website, through to, you know, internal marketing where you're wanting to promote a particular department. You can do a day in the life of. The list is endless, and this is where we very much work in partnership with you to come up with those ideas and support you to achieve your goals. So thank you so much for listening today. And if you have any further questions or would like to know more about Shot Blast Media, please do reach out. Contact details here on the left. We would love to get your feedback from today, you know, to help us shape future webinars. We are planning webinars every quarter, so we just want to gather that feedback to make sure that you are getting the most from these. Also, as a special thank you for attending today, we will be providing you with exclusive access to our Alchemia film, which is a members-only site containing lots of useful content. Thank you everybody for listening, and any questions again, please do not hesitate to contact us and give us a follow on social media.